Professor X entered Thanos' mind to erase him forever. But he found something that shouldn't exist, even in nightmares. A cosmic god, sealed inside Thanos, since birth, feeding on death. Xavier screamed, and the mental link shattered. Across universes, Superman felt it. The god called his name. He crossed the void to stop it, but Thanos wasn't Thanos anymore. What woke inside him remembered Krypton and hated it. And now Superman isn't just fighting Thanos. He's facing extinction. The room was silent, too silent for a mind like Thanos's. Charles Xavier hovered in his wheelchair just outside the containment field, hands trembling over the glowing cerebro interface. Around him, holograms of Thanos' vitals pulsed like dying stars. His heart was steady, his brain activity erratic. But his mind, Charles couldn't even explain it. Jean Grey's voice whispered in his ear, "Charles, don't. Something's wrong. He's not resisting." "That's why I have to," Charles said. "If I can erase what's broken in him, I can stop this before he becomes something worse." He closed his eyes. The room vanished. Inside Thanos' mind, Charles Xavier stood in a gray wasteland. Mountains floated upside down. The sky bled sideways. And in the middle, a black throne carved from obsidian skulls stood alone. No Thanos, no chaos, just absence. Charles stepped closer, boots crunching on memory shards. Scenes from Titan, death, conquest. But something was scrubbed, sanitized. Every emotion gone, every evil erased. Like someone had cleaned up Thanos' mind to make room for something else. Then the scream hit, not from the sky, not from the ground, from thought itself. Charles clutched his head. The psychic scream tore through layers of defense like wet paper. His vision fractured, visions of planets being eaten, suns crushed, time reversed, and then fed to a black mouth with no face. And then a voice spoke. "I was there before the first lie, before the first light. And when Thanos was born, they sealed me inside him." Charles fell to one knee. Who are you?" No answer. Just a sound, like bones grinding against metal. He reached out to disconnect. Nothing. He tried again, still inside. And then it whispered, "You brought me a door, Xavier. You brought me a name." The entity said the words slowly, lovingly. Kal-El. Across the multiverse, across barriers even Doctor Strange couldn't measure. Superman dropped from the sky like he'd been struck by a planet. 1 second he was flying above Earth, scanning for a missing satellite. The next, he was on the ground, gasping, shaking, vision blurring, symbols flashing in his head. "Krypton," he whispered. "No, that wasn't me, that wasn't." And then he heard it, Charles Xavier's voice. "Don't come. Don't let it out. Please." Then silence. Back in the X-Mansion, Jean Grey screamed. Xavier's body convulsed in the chair. His mind gone. Cerebro's lights flickered. Alarms blared. Jean dove into his mind, but it was already collapsing. All she saw was a dark throne and a crack growing wider. She whispered one word, "Run." Miles beneath the earth, in the deepest vault of S.H.I.E.L.D's forbidden zone, Thanos opened his eyes. But it wasn't Thanos anymore. The guards around him didn't even get to scream. Just vanished, like they'd never been born. Superman stood on the edge of space now, eyes burning red, staring into a crack that had just formed in the sky. A literal fracture in reality. The stars beyond it were wrong, shifting, too close. He took a breath, then flew into it. He arrived in darkness, not space, not time, a place between. And there stood Thanos, still, silent, watching. Superman landed hard, floating before him. "What did you do to Xavier?" The thing inside Thanos smiled. But it wasn't a mouth, it was a memory smiling. "He woke me." Superman's fists clenched. "You're done here." He punched. The explosion bent dimensions. Shards of broken physics fell like glass. Thanos didn't move. Then came the reply. "I remember your screams when Krypton burned." Superman froze. "What?" "I was there," the voice said. "I tasted the fear of your parents, the desperation, the hope they wrapped around you like armor. The being stepped forward. Space tore with each footstep. That hope? It feeds me. Superman blasted him with heat vision, full power. Thanos' body cracked. Black light leaked out. But he didn't fall. You still don't know what I am, do you? It said. I am the first fear. I am the god they buried inside the baby Titan. Superman stepped back. I'm not fighting Thanos, he whispered. No, the voice said. You're fighting the thought that broke the first mind. On Earth, Jean Grey pulled Xavier's body away from the smoking cerebro. She looked up and saw the crack in the sky spreading. She whispered, Clark, it's too late. The sky wasn't breaking. It was screaming. From Wakanda to New York, from Latveria to Themyscira, the world looked up and saw reality split like glass under pressure. At the Xavier Institute, Jean Grey held Xavier's limp body, eyes wide as the red crack bled across the sky like a vein in the universe's skull. It's open, she whispered. Whatever was sealed in Thanos, it's loose now. Meanwhile, in the Between Realms, Superman floated, bruised, bleeding slightly from his lip. That didn't happen often. Thanos, no, the thing inside him, stood like a statue of anti-light, voice echoing through thoughts, not air. You came, it said. You always do. That's your curse, Kal-El. Hope. You don't know how to run. Superman's fists clenched. I don't need to run, he growled. Not from you. Then he launched, faster than thought. The punch cracked a forgotten moon orbiting nowhere. But it didn't crack him. Instead, the entity inside Thanos moved for the first time. Not fast, not slow, deliberate. Its arm caught Superman mid-air and hurled him backward through 3 layers of broken dimension. Time bent. Colors screamed. Superman crashed into a floating monument of dead language. He coughed blood for the first time in decades. Okay, he muttered. We're past Thanos level. Elsewhere, in New York Sanctum Sanctorum, Dr. Strange stood in a trance, the eye of Agamotto spinning fast, out of sync. This isn't just a multiversal breach, he murmured. This is infection. Something ancient just wrote itself into our reality. Reed Richards appeared via portal, panic breaking his usual calm. The energy signature in that sky crack doesn't match any known dimension, Reed said. It's older, pre-dimensional. And worse, he paused, it's personalizing. It's learning our names. Strange's brows tightened. Then we need someone it doesn't know. In the between, Superman flew back, lightning spiraling around his aura, fists glowing like burning suns. He struck again 3 times. Each punch folded the void, echoing in frequencies even the Spectre couldn't comprehend. The being led him, then spoke calmly. They called me Nullus. The first thought, the first idea that life feared. Superman's breath caught. You're not just a parasite, he said. You're a god. No, Nullus said. I'm worse. I'm the reason gods were born, to contain me. On Earth, beneath the ruins of S.H.I.E.L.D. HQ, Nick Fury, bruised but alive, watched the security feeds. Footage of Thanos' body awakening, but not snapping fingers, just standing and unmaking everything within 10 feet. Not destroying, erasing. Fury whispered, we're not ready for this. Not even close. Back in the mind stream of reality, Superman hovered now, keeping distance. What do you want? He asked. Nullus didn't answer. Instead, it showed him. A burning red sun, Krypton's death. But this time, Kal-El saw more. He saw a black tendril wrap around the planet's core feeding. You were there, Superman whispered. I was Krypton's scream, Nullus replied. I lived in your father's doubt, in your mother's panic, and in your cradle as your rocket flew, I whispered to the void. Let the last sun carry my seed. Superman shook his head. No, I'm not you. You are half me. Suddenly a ripple. A new figure arrives. Batman. But not with a suit. Not with gadgets. With a weapon. Fifth world energy pulsing from a broken mother box, strapped like a bomb to his chest. You're hitting it too directly, Bruce growled. This thing feeds on aggression. We need to starve it. Superman blinked. How the hell did you find me? You light up the universe like a flare when you're angry, Bruce said. And Xavier's mind scream made every psychic system in the galaxy spike. He tossed Superman a small cube. "What is this?" "Compressed hope," Bruce said, "laced with new Genesis frequency. Feed it what it hates." Superman stared at the cube. Nullus tilted its head. "You think hope can kill me?" it mocked. Superman rose. "No, but it'll starve you long enough for the ones behind me to finish what I start." "Behind you?" Nullus asked. A voice rang out behind it. "I've seen what you are. Jean Grey, glowing, floating, hair on fire with phoenix energy." She reached into Superman's mind, linking their thoughts. "I've been inside Xavier. I've seen your pattern, your code. You're not a god. You're a glitch, a trauma that learned to multiply." Nullus screamed, for the first time, not in dominance, in defense. Superman soared upward, faster than any speed he'd ever reached. Jean Grey shoved Nullus's psychic form backward, using echoes of Charles's last defense. Batman activated the cube, the glow expanded, and a pulse exploded like a reverse supernova. Nullus roared. The void bled color, but it wasn't over. "Kal-El," it hissed. "You can't run from what you are." Superman replied, glowing brighter than a star. "I'm not running. I'm rewriting." The cube pulsed once, then exploded, not in fire, not in sound, but in remembrance. Every thought of hope within Superman was weaponized. Nullus screamed, its body a puppet of Thanos, twisted midair, black steam pouring from its eyes, mouth, fingers. The shape of its face distorted, no longer even resembling the Titan. "What is this?" the entity shrieked, voice warping like 10 dead gods speaking at once. Batman stood calmly, arms crossed over the now-dead Fifth World cube. "You're starving," he said. "You can't breathe in hope." Flashback. Billions of years ago, the first thought was born in the silence before the Big Bang, a moment of nothingness that asked one question: what if there is pain? That idea, Nullus, manifested. It spiraled outward, feeding on fear, on doubt, on the seeds of every mistake. Every god that followed wasn't made to inspire. They were made to keep Nullus locked away. But Thanos was born broken, a mind chaotic enough to hide it. Back in the between, Jean Grey was now inside the entity's mind, fighting alongside Xavier's remaining psychic echoes. She saw it all. Nullus's ceiling inside infant Thanos. The secret titans kept hidden from the stars. The whisper Thanos mistook as destiny was never his voice at all. It was Nullus shaping him. Every genocide, every snap, guided by God with no face, no name, only hunger. Superman charged again, fists lit with multiversal force, crackling with phoenix-aided telepathy from Jean. "Get out of him," he shouted. But Nullus laughed, its voice vibrating inside Superman's skull. "I am him. And now, I am you." The trap was perfect. In Superman's moment of emotional peak, his heart opened wide. Nullus reached through Thanos' broken shell and grabbed Clark Kent's soul. Superman froze mid-punch. His body glowed red, then black, then, boom. A shockwave ripped across the between. Jean screamed. Bruce was thrown into a collapsing dimension. Superman floated, arms limp, eyes black. Back on Earth, every bird dropped mid-flight. Every empathic mutant collapsed. Storm dropped to her knees in Wakanda. Magneto gripped his helmet as his thoughts spiraled. Something ancient had possessed hope itself. In the mental realm, Jean dived again, this time into Superman. It was worse. Inside, she found him not fighting, but trapped, chained inside his own memories, forced to relive the fall of Krypton on repeat. Every time, he failed to save it. Every time, the voice whispered, "You were never enough." And slowly, Superman began to believe it. Jean stood before the memory of Krypton exploding, screaming through the mental static. "Clark, wake up." Nothing. She closed her eyes, reached deeper, found a boy, a farm, Jonathan Kent, Lois, the cape, the smile. She touched those memories and whispered one final line. You gave us hope, remember? Now take it back. Outside, in the between, Superman's body twitched. Light flickered. Black lines across his veins started to peel back. Nullus's grip slipped. You fool, the entity snarled. You want to believe you're special, but you were just fertile ground for my return. Your hope was just sugar. Superman blinked. One eye red, one eye glowing gold. I may be broken, he whispered, but I choose to fight. Suddenly, his aura ignited. Not just yellow, white. A new kind of light. One that Nullus had never known. Not rage, not vengeance, not even love. Conviction. Superman tore the black chains off his soul, screaming louder than any sonic boom. The between shattered. And in the core of that explosion, Superman returned. Nullus screeched. Thanos' body cracked like glass. No, it howled. I still. But Superman blurred forward, faster than light, punching the god through its own memory loop. You're just a thought, he growled. Then I'll erase you. With one final push, he drove Thanos Nullus into a collapsing mental plane. As Jean and Bruce redirected the fifth world cube energy into a singularity of thought, Superman, hands glowing, dove into it, taking Nullus with him. Then nothing. Silence. The between closed. The crack in the sky healed. And Earth was still. On Earth, minutes later, Superman lay on the ground, breathing. Barely. Jean sat beside him, blood in her hair, tears in her eyes. Bruce just nodded, arms crossed, battle-worn. You okay? Jean asked. Clark nodded weakly. Just need sunlight. Then added, and a hug. Meanwhile, in space, Thanos' body floated, empty, but deep within a fading corner of time. A whisper echoed. Thoughts don't die, they wait. Somewhere deep in the void between universes, something stirred. The last echo of Nullus didn't scream. It whispered. I was not defeated. I was dispersed. Earth, days later. The world thought it had won. The sky was no longer cracked. The stars realigned. Thanos was gone. The cosmic rupture sealed. And Superman alive, but different. He hovered above Earth, silent, staring through layers of atmosphere. Not watching the world, listening. Because inside his mind, a frequency still hummed. X-Mansion, lower chambers. Professor X hadn't moved since his mind collapsed. His body alive, his mind missing. Jean Grey sat beside him, palms glowing faintly. He's still locked, she whispered. But something inside him is changing. Suddenly, Charles twitched. His eyes opened. And he spoke, but it wasn't his voice. You didn't kill the god. You opened it. Jean's heart stopped. You gave it form. Then silence again. Gotham Batcave. Bruce stared at the fifth world cube remains on the table. It wasn't a prison, he said aloud. It was a key. Superman entered, cape torn, boots scorched. He dropped to one knee, exhausted. Bruce looked up. You brought it back, didn't you? Clark didn't answer. Instead, he said, I think it's in all of us now. Flashback, Nullus's final move. As Superman launched Nullus into the collapsing psychic core, the god smiled. You thought I was a being. I was never a thing. I'm a pattern, a thought, a code. In that instant, Nullus splintered, not died. It copied. A fragment of itself entered Superman, another into Xavier, others scattered like viruses across the multiverse. Now, the infection begins. In a small town in Kansas, a young girl screams mid-dream. In Kamartaj, a monk explodes into ash while meditating. In Atlantis, whales beach themselves, brains boiling. Everywhere, the same phrase etched into minds. I am still here. Superman stands before the UN. He tells the world the truth. That thing we fought wasn't just a villain. It was a broken idea, one that lived inside the cracks of belief. And now it's thinking again. The world holds its breath. Final scene. Inside a collapsing star, far from known galaxies, a shape forms from shadow. Eyes open. No face. No mouth. Just an outline. And the whisper. The collapse has begun. The world was silent. not in peace, in fear. Nullus, the first thought, the god with no face, had been scattered, but not destroyed. Its infection lived in dreams, in whispers, in every place where doubt lived longer than courage. Superman hadn't slept in days. He hovered above Earth, cape torn, eyes dim. His breath was shallow, not from fatigue, but from resistance. Nullus's voice wasn't screaming anymore. It was comforting. You've done enough, Kal-El. Let the humans fall on their own. You failed Krypton. Don't fail Earth by staying. Inside the X Mansion, Professor X had finally woken. But when Jean looked into his mind, it wasn't his. It was a maze of pain, a code, a memory replaying across time. Nullus's infection wasn't just mental. It was structural, written into the psychic architecture of thought. In the Batcave, Bruce stared at a digital map, red lights pulsing across the globe. The infection is active, he muttered, but not coordinated. Not yet. Behind him, Clark landed silently. I have to end this, Superman said. Bruce didn't turn. And if it ends you? Clark stepped forward, eyes glowing faintly. Then it ends me. They called it the last launch. Jean, Bruce, and Superman used the remnants of the Fifth World tech, Phoenix Energy, and Cerebro's pulse to open a single path into the core of Nullus, where the thought lived pure, where no hope could follow. The journey. Clark entered the thought realm, a place made of silence and regret. Memories twisted into weapons. Regret turned into chains. There Nullus stood, no longer wearing Thanos' skin, just a towering black silhouette, tall as a mountain, smooth as obsidian, face forever missing. Welcome home, Kal-El. Superman didn't speak. He walked forward slowly. No fists, no rage. Just light. You still don't understand, Nullus said, circling him. You think you're hope, but you're just a stubborn accident. Superman stopped. No, he said. I'm the choice someone made not to break. With that, he opened his chest, literally. The symbol of hope on his suit became a beacon. Inside, all his memories. His mother's last smile. Jonathan Kent's firm hands. Lois's voice. A boy in Kansas who just wanted to help. He let the thought see it all. And Nullus flinched. For the first time, the god of fear recoiled. Superman took a step closer. You're not eternal, he said. You're repeated. You only exist when we forget who we are. And I remember now. He exploded into light. Every fragment of him, every hope, every act of kindness he had ever done, launched outward like psychic meteors. Jean amplified it from Earth. Xavier focused it. Bruce watched and smiled just once. The collapse happened instantly. Not with violence, with clarity. The code was broken. The lie erased. Nullus screamed, not in pain, in fear, then vanished. Back on Earth, Superman fell from the sky like a meteor. Bruce caught him in a net of light. Jean cried quietly. Clark opened his eyes. I think it's over. Professor X stood up slowly. Not over, he said, but balanced. Final scene. In the stars, a new constellation forms. The shape, a cape flowing. And the whisper? Hope thinks louder now. The end, white heavy checkmark.